Good morning. The secret of success is developing your willpower by setting yourself increasingly difficult goals and persevering until each of them has been achieved.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Let's start our class today with the prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Guru Preceptors, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Help us to be ever more tuned to thy ray, thy grace, thy blessings. Bless our class today with thy wisdom, with thy joy. Om Shanti, Shanti. We'll have a chant now, and then we'll listen to a guided meditation with Swamiji. It's only a couple of minutes long, but since today is on tips for deepening your meditation or preparation for meditation, I thought I would play that. And then afterwards, I'll talk a bit on this topic, and then there are several questions that we will be introducing, and I'll answer those. So welcome again, everybody.
First of all, sit upright, away from the back of your chair. Place your hands on the thighs at the junction of the abdomen with the palms turned upward. Shoulder blades a little bit together, not with tension, just to keep the back straight. Chin parallel with the ground. Mentally build a fire and cast all your attachments into that fire. Realize that you came alone into this world with none of them, and that when you leave, you won't be able to take anything but the thought of them. Leave that thought behind. Who you are, all those who make claims upon you as your wife or your husband or your child, your parent. All the things that you've accrued in your lifetime, just give it all to Him. He'll take care of it much better than you can. You'll be able to enjoy this world even much more with that attitude, knowing that He does take care of you. He gives you what you need. And now let's relax the body. First of all, inhale, tense, exhale, and relax. Inhale, tense. Once more, tense. And now, hold your body still and visualize space briefly all around you. And let's inhale and feel that we're bringing that space into our body. And as we exhale, feel that we're exhaling all poisons of tension, of attachment, of worldliness, of pride. Inhale, counting 12 mentally. Hold, counting 12. Exhale, counting 12. Keeping your body still and trying mentally to relax it more and more deeply.
Let's meditate just a moment together. Do 1 or 2, the even count breaths, and then sit for a moment in meditation. Welcome again, friends. Swamiji gave such a wonderful preparation for meditation, and we should realize that the preparation is as important as the meditation itself. So today I want to focus on some particular points that may help you to prepare so that once you're sitting to meditate, you actually are prepared, you feel the body's ready to sit still, the mind is calm. I think in these days we need to focus on and have the direction of going deeper in our meditations. So let's just hear these few thoughts and then we have some questions that I'll answer after this. Today we'll go until 8:30 or 8:45, depending on the questions. So let's see the tips on meditation on the screen. Exercise, energize, yoga, do yoga and pranayama. And then I'll go into your sitting position, your meditation space itself, devotion, attuning to the guru's readings and audio talks. Now, I can't go into these in great detail, but I'll go into them as much as possible as we have the time for. The first one is, if you can exercise, you're going to feel more energy, period. You're going to feel more prana flowing through your body. Your body won't be as stiff. Now, Swamiji said something interesting, that tensions, and people carry tension in the shoulders and the neck and the back and the legs. He said that tensions create toxins. And when there's a lot of toxins in the body, that's just like stagnant water. It's just held in the body. And so what we want to do when we exercise is we oxygenate the body. We get rid of the tensions and the toxins, and then the body is more still. So proper exercise, whatever you typically do, walk, jog, whatever, do it every day if you can. I know people that don't exercise at all. And Master said exercise until you sweat, till you break a sweat every day. And so exercise for yogi is very, very important. Okay, so that exercise and then energization, of course, we've gone over that many times, but energization is vital to keep the prana flowing in the body. Now, someone asked me yesterday about going to the gym versus doing these exercises, and I've gone to the gym quite a lot before this period of the virus. But you're working with machines, you're not breathing properly. There's that terrible music at the gym as well. And so with energization, you're working with pranayama and movement. And you're attuned with the masters. Their grace is helping you to bring more prana into the body. So we're also developing our willingness, enthusiasm. So do energization once, twice, thrice, however many times you can do it per day. You could take little breaks of energization, but before you meditate, for someone who's new at meditation, you should energize before you sit to meditate. Someone who's been meditating for some years and you feel a sense of relaxation and also prana flowing in your body before you meditate, because energization is accumulative over years. You build your base more and more and more. You have a very strong base to meditate with. But I would say, most people should energize before, because there's so much stress and tension, especially today. And you take that into your meditation room, it just becomes an obstacle. So energization, yoga postures help to align the body and also get a wonderful flow of energy. If your knees are tight, your back is tight, just do one or two postures and you just feel much more limber, much more flexible. And pranayama, as Swamiji had us start to do, of course, that relaxes the thoughts. And so I know people who just go sit down and expect something's going to happen, but this doesn't really work. If you can do the tension and relaxation, I've over the years, especially in these days, I do that many times to just be able to dump the body before meditation. And then the even count breath, you can inhale 8 or 10 or 12 or 16 or 20, hold that length, exhale that length. Your mind becomes very, very, very quiet and still. Okay, so that's one point. The next is how you sit. Now, you're not trying to overcome the pain of your body by sitting in a full lotus or half lotus, Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, or Siddhasana, or one of the poses. I mean, they're wonderful. I can sit in some of them. But if you're experiencing pain, then that's not a good position for you. In a long meditation, you may have a kneeling bench, you may have a chair as well. If you're meditating for 4 hours, 6, 8 hours of the long meditation, I've seen people at Ananda Christmas meditations have several possibilities. You have a pillow and you have the bench, you have the chair. And at the chanting breaks, you might move from one to the other. So be comfortable. It's not just to sit in a difficult position with pain. It's to sit with the spine straight. Swamiji said the palms turned up at the juncture of the thighs and abdomen. The chest is open. The back is straight. And you feel, if you're in a chair, your feet are touching the floor. If you need a pillow, put a pillow there. If you need a pillow at the base of your spine, put a pillow there. Don't lean back in the chair like this. And I see people meditating like this. The spine is not straight for one. If you sit up, there's just a lot more power that's going to flow through the spine. Okay, so that's with the sitting positions. Let's see the next question. Meditate. Yeah, let's see. Okay, your meditation space. Now, I hope you have a meditation space by now. And it can be a corner of your room partitioned off. I, for years, had a place where it just was a corner of the room with a drape there or a partition that I made. But it should be a sacred space. You shouldn't go there and do gymming and you talk on the phone over there and you eat over there. And it should be a holy place. It's the most sacred place of your whole house. And so create a space. If you're lucky to have a meditation room, wow, that's a blessing. Have the pictures of the masters and refresh your altar. Don't just have it the same forever. And go in there and do an arati, ring a bell, have incense, candle, that you enliven your altar again. You may have murtis. I have murtis in my meditation room, and I honor them. I don't just have them sitting there and, I don't give them any energy. And so you want to have beautiful flowers if you can, garlands if you can, whatever you're able to do. But the meditation space should be the most special, holy place in your home. Keep it clean. And about you, some people don't want to have a candle. You can have a dim light in there. Swamiji said without any light, you tend to get sleepy. It's like when you're at night, when you're sleeping, there's no light on, so you tend to get sleepy that way. He also recommended a blue light. Blue is very calming, very peaceful. And if you can meditate with the blue light, that's a wonderful thing as well. I can say I've never done that, but I do have a dim light because I don't want candles in my meditation room either. But it should be very inviting and magnetic. It should draw you in there. Okay, let's go on to the next point. Devotion. One other thing on meditating, try to meditate at the same time every day. Just like if you eat typically at the same time in the morning and noon, afternoon, and then the evening, at that time you tend to get hungry. And the same with meditation. If you meditate at the same time, your soul, your body, your mind it calls you to meditate at that time. Good times to meditate are when you first wake up in the morning. I don't do a lot before I meditate. I know some people check email and they check the WhatsApp and then they check the news, and then by the time they're done with all that, the energy for meditation has gone. So pretty much energize and go meditate if it's at all possible. If you have little things you need to do, that's okay, but don't spend a lot of that special precious time on odd things. Yeah, just get into your meditation room as soon as you can. If you can face east, it's very harmonious and a very uplifting direction of wisdom is coming to you. It's easier to meditate if you face east. You can try these things. Face south, I can't stand it. Face west, it just doesn't feel right. North, you can. North is the direction that yogis face for final liberation. You can face north, but east really has a certain magnetic pull. And if you face that direction, it's just easier. These are tools that will help you to meditate more easily. Other times to meditate are, I started with that first thing in the morning. If you can, get up earlier when there's no vibrations of other people, or stay up late and meditate. You'll find that those are good times. Noon is a good time too, 6 o'clock evening. The time of the sunset is good. Time of sunrise are wonderful times to meditate. Okay, so then the next point is about bringing in devotion. So you want to have chanting, music. I think a lot of people miss out because they're so focused on, I just got to sit here and I just got to do it. And what time is it? And I just ask the question, where's the joy? There's none there. Where's the love? It's gone out the window. And Master told Swamiji, you must get devotion. So he got a harmonium and he prayed for devotion. And we all know who knew Swamiji. He was very devotional. He could hardly speak at the end without weeping about when he spoke of God. And so for all of us, I think we need to have that in preparation for meditation. You need to get your heart more open. Get a musical instrument, play it. Play the chants before if you can't play an instrument. Play Swamiji's music before. Play metaphysical meditations. Read from Whispers from Eternity. I think this rushing in and out of the meditation room is just it's not good. It needs to be, you need to be prepared. And then when you sit there, you go, oh, how wonderful. And with devotion, talk to Divine Mother. Just say, I'm here. I want to be with you. Speak with the masters. Master said, to those who think me near, I'll be near. And with Babaji, anyone who calls with devotion, that he would answer that. And so I would rather say, take the time really before. If you need to make your meditation shorter, get the preparation in. And then afterwards, another point, I'll get into, but afterwards, maybe have a reading from autobiography or Living Wisely, Living Well, or one of The New Path, one of the books that take you into your day, that inspire you. Or you may listen to an excerpt, as we've been doing on these talks, we listen to an excerpt from Swamiji. It's so inspiring, 2 or 3 minutes, and you just feel great for the whole day. And so it should be at the beginning and at the end. You just feel there's inspiration at the beginning, and preparation, there's inspiration at the end. Okay, let's see, was there more? And then we'll go into the questions. Attuning to the gurus. Yes. I was hearing a talk by Swamiji yesterday where he said, you should feel like you're meditating with the angels, with the saints, and with the masters. Isn't that beautiful? And not that you're there alone, but that they're all there with you, and you're attuning to them, and you feel their love, you feel their help, their guidance, their vibrations. And I just read to you, as we end this part, a couple of quotes on meditating with the masters. Bring from Swamiji. Bring the guru into your practice. Bring his grace in. Feel him sitting right beside you. Feel that your body is his body and he's meditating through you. Another, the masters are with you. They are on your side. They want to help you. Another, visualize master sitting beside you. Mentally ask him to guide your meditation. And on devotion, people who meditate with the spirit of devotion and of already being free are the ones who advance most quickly. The techniques will be only mechanical unless you add devotion. This must be something that you practice with devotion, meditation, devotion and love to please God, not for favors. And finally, this one on Kriya. In the practice of Kriya, you can get out of so many problems, psychological, physical, spiritual. And if you will practice with energy and devotion, you will find there is no cloud that cannot be lifted in time. Okay, let's go to the questions now. I've asked Natindra to assist me with this and ask the questions that we have for today.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The first question we have is, how long should I meditate?
Okay, this question has been asked by just about everybody who has started to meditate. There needs to be some discipline, but at the beginning, Master said to emphasize relaxation. Now, if you're sitting there and you're tense and you don't really want to be there, you're watching the clock, or if you're sitting there and you're falling asleep and you're counting that as a meditation, or you're sitting there and your mind is just racing all over the place, I would rather say meditate less and build up on deeper meditation. So meditate, Swamiji said, as long as there is joy. Now, at the beginning, you may not have any joy. And I'm talking about people who just learned how to meditate. You have to build that joy up. But so you may meditate at the beginning, 15 minutes. This is for a beginner. Someone who's a Kriyaban should be meditating a couple of hours a day or an hour and a half a day at least. But here again, don't force yourself. I'd rather see people doing short meditations through the day, maybe 3 or 4 times, instead of sitting. Remember, Swamiji said he meditated 9 hours once straight, and his mind was just so rebellious after that he couldn't meditate long periods anymore for a while. Then there was a man who at the monastery meditated 48 hours. Then soon he left. He left the ashram. So it's not, there has to be doing and there has to be being. And I've learned over the years not to force myself. There were times when I had to meditate less because of my seva. In Italy, particularly, everybody was new. We couldn't meditate long. That period went for 7 years. Then I went into doing the Kriya Sangha, and I had to meditate longer because I was working with the Kriyabans. And that's continued up to now. So go with the natural rhythms. Don't force yourself. Don't meditate too less and don't meditate too much. Just feel what's right for the moment. It has to do with how long you can sit, has to do with your karma, has to do with your environment. It has to do with your preparation, has to do with what's going on in the world, has to do with a lot of factors. If you're away from the city, my God, you can meditate a lot longer with ease. I've done it many times. But if you're in the city and there's people living close by, so many people in your house, the neighbors, the noise, the traffic, it's going to be harder for you. So be realistic. And here's what I like to do. Follow the joy. If you don't have any joy, you need to start developing that through your chanting, through being with others who are more joyful. And if you follow that, you'll find that you meditate the right amount of time and your soul. Master said, to finish this, the soul loves to meditate. It's the ego that's rebellious. Okay, the next question.
You did cover this partly, but the question is, what's the best time of the day to meditate?
Yeah. Okay. The best time of day, I did cover that, but I'll say this, when you will do it. How's that? And so the best time is when you will meditate and then you actually do it. Okay. Next question.
Next is, why should I meditate with others and whom to meditate with?
Okay. This is a wonderful question. I can say a good part of my meditation, the depth of meditation has come from meditating with others. That may seem unrealistic, but the depth, the stillness, the peace, the upliftment of other devotees really, really helps you. Remember Swamiji's stories of meditating with Master and how his spiritual eye just opened up. He felt like he was just soaring into the infinite, just sitting in Master's presence when he wasn't even, Master was talking about digging potholes and Swamiji was in the back of the room. He also just felt sometimes that he would come in, be with Master, and problems from years would dissolve. It had been there for a long time. And so we don't underestimate the presence of one who's meditated a lot. Now, who can you meditate with the best is the masters. Meditating with them, you get out of many things. 25% is our effort. And 25%, the guru gives you lots of his good karma. 50% is the grace of God. That's 75%. Do you think you're going to make it on your own? Think again. You can't open your own chakras, uplift your own kundalini, open the spiritual eye, and soar out into the infinite by yourself. And so meditate with the masters, particularly Master, your guru. And if you can meditate, not if, when, you can meditate with people who meditate longer than you, I would be in that room if I were you. I meditated with people who meditated long hours, had long seclusions where they were just calling on God. And I just felt so uplifted. Meditating with Swami Kriyanandaji, many of you have. Wow, it's it's real meditation. It's not restlessness. And who should you meditate with? I said, and why is it important? I think I answered that. It will save you quite a lot of time on the path of meditation. I would say will get you at least a quarter of the way further if you just meditate with other people who meditate longer. Okay, next.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question is, I want to sit longer in meditation, but my legs go numb. What should I do?
Yeah, that happens. There's probably poor circulation there. Yoga postures will do it. If you can do some postures with the legs, energization will do it if you can tense and relax. Now, if you're sitting there and the legs are going numb, now someone asked me this recently, should I just endure that numbness? Well, you won't be meditating very well. So I would tense and relax your legs. You can do that. The preparation, if you prepare properly, you likely will not have that numbness unless you're sitting for a long, long time. And Master would have people at the 8-hour meditation, have them stand up at the chanting breaks because of the legs do get tired. So be realistic. Do exercises before, tense and relax your legs in between if you need to. change your position. You know, if you're sitting in Padmasana, you may need to come out of Padmasana, sit in a chair. So all these things would be helpful. Next.
Next is there's noise where I live that's distracting in meditation. What should I do?
Yeah, easy. A set of earplugs or headset will help to rid you of that noise. Also, early meditations or late night meditations is less noise. And noise is not just noise that you hear, noise is vibrationally. There's vibrations that are just pulling you outward of other people. And so if you can just be more, meditate when it's more still and more quiet, you'll find that it's much easier. Okay, next.
I don't want to burn candles. Is there an alternative?
Yeah, I answered that already.
Yeah. The next is, can't I just come back from work and sit down and meditate? Why do I need to prepare?
Well, I'll say this, why don't you try it and see how deep you go? I've tried all these things. That's why I can answer them. And you come home from work after the traffic and you've been sitting in a car, and then you have all the tension of the day, other people's vibrations on you. That environment that you were in, it's all over you, and it creates tensions, which the body's tense and you don't even know. You've been sitting at the computer all day like this. You've been having the phone up here like that. Maybe your boss was upset that day. There's so many things. And you come home and you just sit down in a chair. Well, I've never seen that work, but you can try it. But I can say I have seen, after a day of seva, I mean, really offering everything to God. But I do still do preparation before sitting down. Those have been the best meditations of my life, is seva. You can call them seva meditations. After you do seva, giving everything to God and gurus, those are the most blissful meditations, because Master's just pouring blessings into you. He's been pouring them all the time you were serving. And then you sit to meditate and you still have that flood of blessings. So one way to meditate more deeply is to do seva. Meditation helps your work, Master said, and your work, your seva, helps your meditation. Both go hand in hand. Okay, next.
A related question is, if I can't do all the preparation, can I still meditate?
Well, God, I would say if you, this is a choice of not meditating at all, meditate, but you can also prepare in the chair, isn't it? You can inhale, tense, relax. You can do even count breath in the chair. You can stretch, you know, you can do a few things by sitting down even. I think no preparation, zero, it's just more difficult. And it typically comes from, let me just say, laziness. Do something. And you find, like, if I'm going to go for a walk, I stretch my legs out. Otherwise, you get cramps. Otherwise, your ankles start hurting, or your knees go out, or something, or your back is going out. Now, would I rather have that, or would I rather stretch out first? I rather stretch. So the same thing, if you're sitting in meditation, you haven't done anything, many things will happen physically, mentally, spiritually. You just can't break through that wall. But your back might start hurting, your knees hurt, your neck, and you just say, yeah, I feel good. Well, you don't feel good. And so even in the chair, do some preparation and you'll feel you can meditate much better. Okay, anything more? Is that it?
Janaji, we have one last question, and one question has come live as well. So the last question is, I often use the sadhana for asking questions from everyday life. Though I get answers and a feeling of peace with respect to such questions, it becomes a habit of having thoughts. Any suggestions?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that's going to be tricky, because then your whole meditation is thinking, and meditation is beyond thinking. So I would suggest that you break that habit, and that at the end of your meditation, after you sat in the silence, sit a little longer. I do that. And I think about the class or my day, or offer things to master. That's a particular part of your sadhana, but it's not the meditation. Let's put it that way. The meditation should be with the least amount of thoughts possible. And if you're dreaming up thoughts or coming up with thoughts, it's going to become a bigger and bigger obstacle. That's what I would say. And so really focus on this, the spiritual eye, focus on the techniques, focus on devotion, offering yourself to God. And you can break that by using a harmonium. If you get a harmonium going, you're chanting, chant before, and I know the person who's asked this is a chanter, then those thoughts, they just quickly go out the window. So use chanting, even if you just put it on in a recording, then you've just been a different bhav altogether. Then you can bring that up afterwards at the end. Okay, next question. This is the last one.
Yes, Janaji, it's just come live. It's on posture. So the question is, my back feels much straighter when my hands are on my knees rather than at the junction between thigh and abdomen
Yeah,
with palm upwards. Is that all right?
yeah, I've gone through that. And here's the thing. If you can really sit straight with the hands down, so my hands are down now on the knees. Now they're up at the juncture of the thighs and abdomen. Now, if you're able to keep your spine straight, if you're not a beginner, I would say you probably can do this, but I see beginners doing this. That once the hands go down, then their body starts going down. I mean, not in the beginning, but by halfway through, they're slumping, because it's so easy to slump with the arms down on the knees. You can't slump very well. Master gave us this because you can't slump very well this way. You also if you start going deep, now this is another part of this question. Once you start going deep and things start happening in meditation, you need this control over your body. I mean, you need to be able to sit firm, is what I want to say. And if you're down here, then it's more likely that, I mean, you could even fall off your chair. So have a straight spine and put your hands here. And as you go deeper, many things start happening in your meditation, and you just want to have a firm posture. But more than anything, this is not really the question for most people. More than anything, I think people start slumping down. And as soon as you slump, then the energy can't flow. You have to have that hose of the spine straight and that power, the prana flowing through it. And as you do, chakras open, spiritual eye opens, you can see the light better, you hear the om better, you feel the currents better if you're doing kriya. As soon as you kink, then it's going to be harder for you to feel anything, and you may end up going to sleep. Okay, anything more?
Yes, Janaji, one more has come. I think it's relevant too. Is sitting in chair or is sitting in Padmasan better than sitting in chair for meditation? That's the last one.
Well, if somebody is 80 years old, and Master had someone who came who was 80 years old, she was an atheist until she met him. And he said she found God in that lifetime. Wow. Now, did she sit in Padmasana? I seriously doubt it. So there's the answer to that question. It's really up to the person's body. You do the best you can. Some people can sit in it easily for a few minutes. Some people can sit longer. But let's not say that the posture is going to give us samadhi. It does not. The gurus and God give you samadhi. You sit in the best way you can. And when Master was teaching in America, he taught everybody to sit on a chair, except for probably those in the monastery. Did Sister Gyanamata sit in Padmasana? I don't think so. You know, I don't think so. So I used to sit in it for some time, but God, it was hard on my knees. But I enjoyed the feeling of the energy rising up. But you have other ways you can get the energy to rise up. So I would say sit comfortably. No position is better than another if it doesn't suit your body. And so that's why they're different positions. Do the one that fits for you. Then you can sit long, you can feel joy, you feel inspired. And let us not forget, I'll close with this, that what we are doing is turning our cup up to receive grace, the grace of God, the blessings, these uplifted states of consciousness. We can't get into them by ourselves. I don't care how many. There's so many people who do Padmasana, they're not finding God. And so be in a position where you feel I'm open and I'm receptive. That's the most important position of all. I'm open, Divine Mother, and I'm receptive. And however you want to come to me, please come. And let her do the rest. And I think there are other positions. We'll get into this more next week, but we just had a fabulous class that you all will have to do at another time when for those who are taking advanced Kriya Yoga initiations on other very advanced positions. But even those, you still have to use your heart. You have to love God. Even no position is going to give you those high states of consciousness. God watches the heart, Master said. Okay. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.
Oh.